So. Hello and welcome to Round 9 coverage of Grand Prix Sacramento. This is the start of Day 2. Players have already been culled from the field if they have more than 2 losses. Tiago Saporito, Chase Wilson don't even have a loss between them. That will probably change this round as both players are 8-0 and both are looking to avoid picking up their first loss. Tiago Saporito starts things off with Vampire Neonate. It's a Druid of the Cowl for Chase Wilson. And Tiago has passed the turn with no play on turn 2. Is that not what you've normally seen when you've watched Tiago play with this deck?
Most games I've watched him play, he's gone 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
His deck does have a very nice curve here. Chase, on the other hand, Druid of the Cowl, one of the very best commons in the set, especially being on the play. You know, Chase having access to 4 mana there when Tiago has only had access to 2 mana plays. A very nice one there for Tiago.
Yeah, just to give you a little background on Chase Wilson, he's from Santa Cruz. He's playing the game for about 8 years, so about a third of Magic's lifetime. And he's won a few PPTQs, but no big success. This is definitely his best start to a tournament. And his favorite part of the game, interesting decisions. He loves that aspect of the game, and that's usually a pretty good sign for a Magic player if that's what they're interested in. You know, I like winning is probably not going to be the thing that's going to really just push you forward. So here you see a Mentor of the Meek comes down for Tiago Saporito. He's got a Star Crown Stag, and now a Vampire Siege Rhino. That's what it basically,
I like that.
That's basically what that card is, right?
Yeah, and it gets the trade with this Herald while
Rhino.
ending up ahead, which says quite a bit about the card's power level. Herald of Faith and Vampire Sovereign, 2 of the very best uncommons in the set. There are a lot of very good uncommon 5-drops in each of the colors.
Yeah, talking to a lot of players about the sealed deck format, they were like, they felt like, you know, a lot of times you're like, is this a bomb format? Is this a commons format? And the way this was described to me was, you know, very much a middle class uncommons format.
I would definitely agree with that. Tiago also, despite having such an incredibly fast start, threatens to generate just a ton of card advantage in the coming turns with a card like Mentor of the Meek.
So Thornhide Wolves was the play there from Chase Wilson. No attack with the Herald.
It doesn't want to offer that trade. He's at 11. Tiago's at 24.
And here we see what you're talking about. So in comes a Pegasus Courser. Tiago Saporito pays Mentor of the Meek's tax, gets to draw a card.
Now he's going to get to drain a little bit if he so desires.
Yeah, still has 2 mana up.
I like this.
Yeah, he's going to get aggressive. Yeah, he's going to tap the Thornhide Wolves and offer a trade here. He's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to take my Stag? Do you want to take my Vampire Sovereign?
Yeah, and then this puts Chase in a pretty difficult situation because if Chase lets the Starcrown Stag live, he's essentially kind of making one of his creatures unable to block. But if he lets the Sovereign live, then Tiago continues to rule the skies. And not only has the Vampire Sovereign, but also has that Pegasus Courser to do so.
Then Tiago still had mana left over to actually play a Oresco Swiftclaw, which can now join the Air Force with that Pegasus Courser.
Yeah, and you know that means it's 7 points of flying power plus the one tick from the Neonate, and that's 8 right there.
Yeah, Saporito looked like he got off to a very slow start. What happened?
Yeah, Starcrown Stag put some pressure on people. Vampire Sovereign also not too shabby.
All right, wow. And they get a lot of respect for Pegasus Corsa here. Rabid Bite to take out the 1/3 flyer.
Yeah, recognizing that that perhaps more of a threat than the Vampire Sovereign. He could have killed the Sovereign, but it did not represent as much damage on the following turn.
Well, you know what? Tiago Saporito has another one, and he's going to draw another card off of it. And again, manages to hold on to that 2 mana for Vampire Neonate. And Chase Wilson is on a very, very narrow ledge right now if he wants to win this game. And, yeah, he doesn't see a way out, picks up his cards, and Saporito is very quickly 1 game to the good.
Tiago's also somebody whose limited game has improved over time. And it's not like it started out like, oh, he's not a very good limited player. It started out like, oh, he's pretty good at drafting. And then it just kept being like, oh, he's like really good. Oh, he's like incredible. Oh, he's actually one of the very best people in the world at this.
Well, yeah. When you talk to the guys on Harry Latin, they give a lot of credit to Marcio Carvalho, someone who was the draft master, as just being, just truly excellent at analyzing limited formats and really understanding how to succeed in them and how to, generally pretty aggressive in his take on those limited formats too. So.
And he has experienced a ton of success in those limited formats over the years, and I'm sure having somebody of that caliber in your ear all the time, testing with them, is a big part of why Tiago has become so great, under Marcio's tutelage.
You see Chase Wilson, California kid, playing in a California GP.
He looks very California.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's like the Vans T-shirt is like the school uniform, right?
Yeah,
In California.
we're in Sacramento. He's got that Stefan Janoski vibe. I like it. I'm into it.
He's down a game, not stressed at all.
Yeah.
But you can see behind Tiago Saporito, Max Mick also off to an 8-0 start here. He's playing on one of the back tables. Maybe we'll get it. I don't know if we're going to get an update from Rich or not. Probably not this round. But, definitely all the 8. You know what it is? They get all the XO players and they sort of corral them in the feature match area so they can't escape. After they win, they're all in one place, and then they can corral them for the photo.
Yeah, you have like Megan Wolf with a taser standing around.
All right, so the players are drawing up their hands here. I don't imagine you want to give the play to Tiago Saporito. No choosing to draw against this deck. And there we get the Druid of the Cowl again into the Vampire Neonate. There's a Daybreak Chaplain from Tiago Saporito. So, interesting card. I don't think I've seen that card all day today. Giant Spider from Chase. He's got a couple of those in his deck.
Yeah, not the most exciting card, but a card that he's been using to hold off things like Nicol Bolas the Ravager in conjunction with another Giant Spider, to be fair. Throughout the day, I've been walking past games that Chase Wilson has played in the feature match area where he's got this like ragtag team of commons and the opponent just has this pile of mythic rares, and at the end of the match, Chase won.
Yeah, Giant Spider, like a perfect card for the 25th anniversary of Magic. It goes all the way back to Alpha. Pretty, just solid, does exactly the job it was designed for. And look at this. Is Chase Wilson going to attack into an 0-3 with his 2-4? He's got Luminous Bonds. He can't want to use that here. No, he's just going to ramp He's going to play his dual land. He's going to play his Manolith. He's going to let Tiago Saporito ding him for 1 with the Vampire Neonate. And there's this, Starcrown Stag, natural predator of the Giant Spider since 2018.
Giant Spider is a favorite of a lot of Magic players.
Well, here's a Colossal Dreadmaw.
That could pose a problem for Tiago. Tiago, probably going to have to use a removal spell to get that out of the way. He doesn't have an aggressive enough start that he can simply push it out of the way with a Stag and set up a race.
Well, there's a Johnny's Pridemate. And what he's going to do is he's going to start growing that Pridemate. He's going to tap the Dreadmaw. He's going to attack with 2 creatures. Either one of them will bounce off the Giant Spider, but most importantly, he gets the lifelink with that Daybreak Chaplain and put a counter on the Johnny's Pride Mate. He's going to get to put another counter on if he doesn't do anything else, thanks to the Vampire Neonate. And you know what? He can very quickly get that Pride Mate into a place where it could not only trade with the Colossal Dreadmaw, but could actually just hold it at bay.
Yeah, I mean, on this turn, it's going to be a 4/4 when he untaps, and he could make it into a 6/6 on that very same turn. Kind of impressive here. Chase Wilson going to have to start turning creatures sideways. Just sitting back and trying to block when you're playing against a card like Starcrown Stag. We learned from Ixalan Limited with
Territorial
Hammerskull that blocking is not a winning strategy, and Chase recognizes that, gets in the red zone here.
Well, it looks like actually we've got a pretty good turn here for Chase Wilson. There's a Rabid Bite. He takes down the Colossal Dreadmaw. He's still holding Luminous Bonds, right? He could have played that this turn as well. So
he's an Electrify also.
Oh, okay,
which he could take down the Stag with.
And so he's going to do that, it looks like, right now. Yep. Just try to catch Tiago Saporito while he was almost tapped out, but Mighty Leap.
And time again, we've seen Neonate's threat of activation make people get a little emboldened about playing into pump spells.
Well, they're virtually tapped out. But again, Chase could have waited until his opponent activated the Neonate. Right? Could have given him that opportunity. So
here, Tiago again attacking with both of those. It looks like Chase may have chosen to block the Chaplain instead of the Stag. And if you're wondering why he would do that, it's because he's playing around a card called Skeletal Archer.
Okay.
And if he blocked the Spider to the Stag, then Tiago would be able to finish it off with the Archer if he has the Archer. And it looks like Tiago does, so very well played on Chase's part.
All right, well, there's a Luminous Bond on the second Starcrown Stag. And out of cards for Chase Wilson. Tiago might be able to make very short work of this.
Yeah, and again, that Stag is just going to take that 6-mana dinosaur out of combat over and over again.
And he's just going to play the Archer, ping Chase, and say go.
Interesting.
Tiago Saporito pumps the brakes. He realizes his opponent's out of gas. He just wants to develop his board.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry, it's late in the day. If he taps on the
what
dinosaur
are you talking about?
there.
It's the start of day 2.
Yeah,
we're refreshed and revitalized.
Now Chase has the Druid of the Cowl untapped also this turn, so he could have simply double blocked a Stag. So Tiago doesn't want to start crashing into that, understandably.
There's another Giant Spider foil. That looks really cool in foil. And the Dreadmaw gets in for 6. And Tiago still just working with these 4 mana. He's going to tap all 4, play another Skeleton Archer. Ping Chase. But now, you know what? Now he's got some opportunities to block that Colossal Dreadmaw if he wants.
Yeah, and I mean, he's going to go for the double block here with the Skeletal Archers. If Chase, for this one turn, happened to draw a pump spell, then Tiago's going to find himself in a really rough situation. But if he didn't, this seems like the destiny for this turn, if you will.
Chase is just sending it in there. That kind of feels like there's a pump spell. But it looks like there's just a Meteor Golem. Just a Meteor Golem.
Oh, that's all. Oh, okay. See, and that's the reason Chase is pretty happy to accept this trade. Tiago thinking to himself, well, if I make this trade, then suddenly, we're at parity again. I have cards in hand. My opponent does not. One of my cards is a Vampire Sovereign. I feel very good about that.
So, yeah, they do make the trades. And then here comes Meteor Golem. He's going to take out the Starcrown Stag. And suddenly, Tiago Saporito's down to just a Daybreak Chaplain and a Vampire Neonate.
Yeah, just his first 2 plays of the game.
Wow.
All he has left.
Tiago could just not find a 5th land here.
And it looks like Tiago's hand is just 5s.
Was that Open the Graves?
I think there was an Open the Graves in there.
Chase is like, is it time for me to go on offense here against this this board. Can he get enough out of this?
You don't really get that much from it, but you do get something. It's probably better than blocking when the opponent only has 2 power on the table.
Yep, so here it comes. So Neonate blocks a spider, Chaplain blocks a spider, and 4 points get through. Tiago will make one of those back on the Chaplain. And another Thornhide Wolves comes down from Chase Wilson. He has enough mana to activate his Vampire Neonate.
Yeah, so he did drain with the Neonate. He just pointed at it and wrote down the life total. Just shortcutting, saving some time here.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, you talked about 5s. There's also a Lich's Caress in hand. Yeah, I was like, all right, what am I playing here? Okay, I'm going to play the Lich's Caress first. I'm going to take care of the Wolves. I'm going to gain 3. And I'm going to get in for 1 while I have a shot here.
I also like Tiago, using every part of the Buffalo. Doom Dissenter is the kind of card where you think of it as a card that excels at blocking or gaining advantage by it dying. And Tiago recognizing that he wants to wait for it to die until he has that Open the Graves on the battlefield. It's worth a point now to just get in when your opponent has all of his creatures tapped.
All right.
There's no reason not to take it.
Yeah, Golem gets in. Dryad Greenseeker was the draw for Chase, and that's a hell of a draw at a place where the board has hit some kind of parity. But Vampire Sovereign comes down for Tiago Saporito.
Yeah, and now that Tiago has that Vampire Sovereign on the battlefield, those 2 Skeletal Archers in the graveyard are sorely missed because either of those could be used to finish off Spiders in conjunction with the Sovereign here. But
yeah, Spiders are looking great right now.
And, this Vampire Sovereign kind of steadies things up. Suddenly, Chase can't attack. Tiago doesn't have a good attack on board. So we're looking at a board where, Neonate is really the card that's dealing damage one way or the other. And, Chase is basically not drawing lands from now for a very long time unless he has a glut of multiples in a row.
Well, how about a plummet off the top?
It's a nice one.
So it gets in with the Meteor Golem again. And Saporito preserving his creatures for what we believe is an Open the Graves. Yep. And Chase is going to read that.
Also, interestingly, to combo with Open the Graves, Tiago has Mentor in hand. And whenever a 2/2 gets made with that Open the Graves, Tiago gets to pay 1 mana and draw a card. And that is, I think in the business, we call that disgusting.
So there's the Mentor you were talking about. So both players have like this little engine going on here. Dryad Greenseeker for Chase. And then Open the Graves and Mentor the Meek for Tiago. By the way, also that Vampire Neonate is just a clock.
Yeah.
If both players just are on this stalled board, then that Vampire Neonate's and a 7-turn clock.
Mm-hmm. And in each of those turns, it's also padding Tiago's life total, which disincentivizes Chase from turning it into a race.
Yeah, Neonate just continues doing its thing.
Can you imagine how big that Pride Mate would be right now?
Oh, boy. Pride Mate had it go. Here's a Skymarch Blood Letter. So we get a really good picture of what Saporito's deck is looking like. He's going to get to draw a card, too, here with the Mentor of the Meek. Plays a land. It looks like he drew a spell. Not sure what it is. And is he getting to the point where he's also willing to just... No, he's like, no, not yet. Can also just start throwing creatures away almost for a little bit of card deck velocity.
Yeah, and I think Doom Dissenter is the kind of card where he would want to do that because the only block Chase would have would kill it. Chase doesn't have any 0-power creatures, whereas the other creatures, Chase could block with a Druid of the Cowl, block with a Giant Spider, make them just bump. And
how many lands does Chase have? How much mana can he make?
Not enough to Banefire Tiago to death,
Ooh.
but it's awful close.
It's awfully close.
Awful close.
We could get a red card on the board. Oh, wow. Here's a Cavalry Drill Master. You're going to draw a card. Going to make that...
Tiago doesn't know how close this is.
So Drill Master gives first strike and +2. It's going to kill one of the spiders. He's going to get a trigger from the Open the Graves. He's going to pay 1 for it. He's going to draw a card. So that's the engine you were talking about there, Jake. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so every time a non-token creature Tiago has in play dies, it's going to make a zombie, which he can then pay 1 for, thus drawing a card, the Mentor of the Meek. Yep. And, unless Chase Wilson starts, assembling some type of Air Force, some type of evasion, that's going to be an incredibly big hurdle to get over.
Wow. And Tiago's doesn't even realize it. He's just, scratching his way out of Banefire range.
I like the flavor text on Open the Graves. It's kind of hilarious. It's like the back of a children's horror-y kind of book, you know.
You thinking of R.L. Stine here?
Yeah, that's exactly the angle I was looking at.
Goosebumps. All right, so Chase really needs a mana flare, is what we're saying. All right, Suspicious Bookcase.
Oh, well, I mean, that does give Chase the ability to kind of poke in over the course of time, but the thing is his life total is dwindling quickly now.
Yeah.
Tiago doesn't realize how small the window is, though, because Chase, if he gets in for 3 twice with that Meteor Golem, then is able to untap all of his lands again. It's, power cannon time.
It looks like Tiago's at the point where he's just going to send everybody in.
Yeah, and I believe that will be the end of the game.
So sending in 6 creatures. I can tell you he does have a Mighty Leap in hand. There's a giant spider getting in the way of that Mentor of the Meek. By the way, this is just, there's no bad scenario here for Tiago. He gets to just turn all these creatures into new creatures.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't, I think, going to kill his opponent this turn. And now it looks like Chase is trying to find ways to maybe not necessarily just kill everything here, because he's able to, if he gets to crack back, he doesn't maybe want to give. Oh no, he's reset it. So okay.
Yeah, so Tiago could go for the win here. He could attempt to Mighty Leap the unblocked Dissenter and then finish off Chase with the Neonate. If Tiago doesn't go for the win here, if he perceives not going for the win as playing safe, he may put himself in a situation where he loses to the Banefire. So it is scary.
But he is going to go for it. There is the Mighty Leap, and that's going to be the hand. Tiago Saporito, that turn 1 Vampire Neonate, basically kind of went all the way for him. It kept him in that game. I don't think he has any idea how close that game was. His opponent was holding Banefire.
Yeah, I mean, that was the Neonate over the course of the game probably created a 16-point life swing. He got activated 8 times.
And plus you had additional life drain there from the Skymarch Bloodletter and from the Vampire Sovereign. So, under normal, just sort of vanilla creature circumstances, Tiago is probably really just kind of dead to that bomb red rare. But played really nicely here. Manages to get himself to 9-0 and in a great spot heading into the first draft tomorrow here at Grand Prix Sacramento.
Banefire, always an incredible card, but definitely underperforms against black decks in this limited format, where so many other cards have incidental life gain attached to them.
Yeah, I know you really you don't not a card you want to count on just for that killing stroke. Sometimes you actually just want to maybe think about getting something out of the way.
Yeah, like kill that mentor.
Kill
right
that
now.
vampire
Yeah.
neonate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would nominate Vampire Neonate as that card of that match. It was pretty exciting. All right, so we're checking in on Hunter Cochran versus Neil Oliver. Hunter up 1-0. This is live Magic, so we're just, as long as there's people playing at these tables, we're going to stay with them. We're not going to do any time walks here, but we're gonna stay on the live Magic as we make our way around the table. And what is this board looking like to you? Knight of the Tusk, Omen Speaker. We got a Thopter. We got 2 Aviation Pioneers there for Hunter Cochran, Neil Oliver, Child of Night, Ravenous Harpy, and a Reclamation Sage.
So it looks like the majority of Neil Oliver's board has 1 toughness. Neil's at 1, and Hunter has a whole bunch of token production going on. So definitely have to like Hunter's chances in this match now. It looks like he's already up a game, though Neil does have lifelink on that Child of Night, and that could... Okay. Cannonball!
Off the top rope. So it looked like apparently Hunter Cochran was asking for rules text on a card, maybe something he saw in Game 1 that he was worried about from Neil Oliver.
Perhaps trying to figure out abnormal endurance's text. And yes, it does return the creature to play tapped. That may have been what he was trying to ask.
Yeah, and wow, okay. Hunter Cochran now 9-0. There with his blue-white deck, a deck you said had performed pretty well.
Yeah, in my experience, that's the best sealed color combination.
Okay, well, looked pretty good. So that's it for our live Magic. We saw Hunter Cochran go 9-0. We saw Thiago Saporito go 9-0, and we also need to put a card of the match up here. So I gave you my suggestion, but you're in the expert seat. I'm going to leave that to you. Could be Starcrown Stag.
Yeah,
too.
I'm going to override you and say Starcrown Stag. In Game 1, Starcrown Stag just completely ran over the opponent, and in Game 2, Thiago kind of forced the opponent to jump through a lot of hoops because of that double stag, and really forced his opponent to play a very specific way, put him on his back heels.
Vampire Neonate. All right, fine. Starcrown Stag. The elk wins. So, yeah.
Just a beautiful
that's
animal.
Two-time
majestic.
card of the match. We've seen that card be predominant. Definitely one of the best performing commons we've seen in the sealed portion at Grand Prix Sacramento. But, of course, tomorrow we're going to be coming back, and we're going to be doing a draft. We'll see how that card holds up in draft, where maybe that 4 mana is maybe a little bit more of an impediment.
I think it's actually better in draft.
Okay, wow. All right. All right, well, more Starcrown Stag tomorrow. 9 a.m. Is when the draft action is going to start. We'll probably bring in at least 2, maybe 3 drafts to start the day. We're going to have 3 rounds of action, some more drafts, and then we get to a top 8 with a top 8 draft. Please come back tomorrow for Jake, TJ Rogers, Paul Rietzel, Rich Hagon. That's it here for day 1 at Grand Prix Sacramento.